Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to our practice. Taking a seat, and let's get right to it. Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations. Paving the way for the mind to turn inwards, following breath. Each exhale, releasing tension and releasing mental hooks. And then palms folding together. Inhale. Hands releasing, the chin lifting, the eyes opening. Let us begin. Right, anything that we were sitting on, out to the side, of course goes without saying. Adjust for yourselves as needed. You need blankets, you need more support, take it. And here we are in Vajrasana. Bring the arms behind, interlock the fingers, lengthen those collarbones. Inhale into the mirror of the sternum plate, lifting it up to the sky. Feeling that new shape, that new broadness come. And then changing the interlock of the fingers, re-stretching the arms back. Press the front thighs down, press the shins down, press the tops of the feet down. And lift the sternum plate up to the sky. Inhabit that space. And then releasing, keeping that imprint. The chest broadening, the sternum plate lifting. Bring the arms in front, interlock the fingers, turn the palms out. Bhagavatasana, Vajrasana. Keep the sides of the neck well even, the face neutral. As you reach and extend up towards the skies. Noticing where the breath goes now. And then bring the arms back down and changing the interlock. Turning the palms back out, straightening those elbows. Becoming more aware of the details as we lift back up. Feel the tops of all of your 10 toes, the tops of the feet, the shins. Press the thighs down. See how that pressing downwards fuels the lifting upness. And then the arms coming back down and releasing. Widen the knees apart just a little bit to receive the ribs as we come forward with some more shoulder openers. Bringing the arms behind, interlock the fingers again and lifting the arms back up. The source of the arms, the center of the chest. So as you stretch the right arm up, as you stretch the left arm up, feel the center of the chest broadening to the right, to the left. And then bring the arms back to the middle in order to turn the trunk to the left, the arms coming to the right, and placing the middle of the forehead back down on the mat. The sides of the neck as even as possible, not getting involved in the opening of the shoulders. And then the arms coming back to the middle. And now moving the trunk to the right, the arms coming to the left, and the middle of the forehead back down. How can we broaden the center of the chest here? How can that broadening sweep through the collarbones, through the front shoulders, through the arms? And then the arms coming back up to the middle. Note which little finger is underneath before releasing the hands and resting the arms on the earth. Resting the brain, resting the face, resting the shoulders. Feeling ourselves settle more deeply. And then the arms lifting back up and changing the interlocks of the other little pinkies underneath. Lifting the arms back up. Watching the throat carefully, watching the jaw carefully, making sure we're not tightening, tensing. Finding that broadening of the source in the middle of the center of the chest, the source of the arms broadening. And now the abdomen turning to the left, the arms to the right, and the center of the forehead placed back down. All movement with breath, or breath with movement. Mind becoming full with that. The arms coming back up to the middle. And then the trunk, the abdomen moving to the right, the arms to the left. And turning the head to the center of the forehead, can rest back down. The fullness of the breath helping you to go deeper, helping you to calm any impatience, helping us to sit, to be present right here. And then the arms lifting back up before releasing and resting. Everything melting. Preparing to roll up gently, as if we're really emerging into a new world, from a new mind state. The spine unrolling, the chin gently lifting, the gaze diffusing. And let's now come to a Adho Mukha. So spreading the fingers apart, starfish, stretch the hands just here in the placing of them. Turn the toes under. Lining the knees up with each hand carefully to avoid unconscious postural mistakes. And then lifting the knees up. Lift the heels up higher. Feel the toes, feel the roots of the toes, press into them, stretch, ignite feeling. Pushing ourselves away from the hands, firm those elbows. Broaden the shoulders again. Lift the buttocks higher. And now that we're ready and in place, inhale. And exhale as we straighten the legs, lowering the head. Pressing the front thighs back, firming the knees and refirming the elbows. Feel this new shape through the breath. Grow into it, spread into it with the breath. And then looking up, bending the knees, coming down, and lifting the left shin up, the left calf, placing the left shin on that right calf, and sitting back onto the left heel. Breathing here, shoulders down, lifting the sternum plate up, chin lowering Jalandhara Bandha, with the sternum lifting. Let the weight penetrate down into the calf, into the earth. And then the chin lifting, hands coming out, changing sides. Now the right leg lifting, and the right shin pressing into that calf, sitting back. Balancing. Press the shoulders down, lift the mirror of the sternum plate up, and lower the chin. Jalandhara Bandha. With each exhale, keep pressing the weight down through the calf, through the feet, through the mat, through the earth. And then the chin lifting back up. And coming back out, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Really spread the fingers even more widely. The thumb away from the index finger, the webbing of the hands stretching. The knees lining up to the hands. Broaden the shoulders now and turn the inner elbows forward. Place them. Watch them as you lift the knees. The moment they turn in, turn them back out as best as you can. Feel the importance of the heel of the hand. Press into it to push yourself away from it. Lift the buttocks higher. Feel the femurs coming into the hip sockets, aiding you to lift the buttocks higher. Inhale. And exhale as you push yourself away from the heels of the hands, the legs straightening, the head lowering. Keep talking to the body, aligning, feeling, giving it direction. And keep also listening to the body. Is there an area that needs more breath, more firmness? What feels uneven? And then looking up and bending the knees back down, continuing our openings of the feet, calves, shins and ankles. Lift the left leg up, the knee coming behind the right, but don't widen the feet apart. And then come and sit on the left heel, the Gomukasa. And then try to tuck that right foot in, so you're as much as possible on the front of the foot, nice and close to you. Once again, the hands on the knees, pressing down, and the shoulders press down with us, and the chest lifts, the chin lowering. So the brain surrendering to the heart energy. The ego surrendering to the heart energy. But it's not a passive heart energy, it's really lifting, an internal liftingness, a flower. And then the chin lifting up and coming forward and out. And crossing in order to change sides. Gomukasa. The right knee lifting and over, keep the knees nice and tight. Don't spread the feet apart like a Gomukasa 3. I'll be coming up in a little bit. Sitting back. And moving this foot in. And once you feel that you have the right balance, hands on the knees, and they're actively pressing down, the shoulders pressing down, the shoulder blades going down the back, and an internal lifting that translates into external broadness that can be seen, but really an internal feeling of this entire center of the chest constantly lifting up. A mirror sparkling upwards. The more you press down, the more it lifts up, and the chin lowering. Front throat soft. And then lifting the chin, and coming forward. One more Adho Mukha Svanasana with the heels really lifted. So line everything up. So that if bad habits are building in our practice, we take the time to really look at the details. And then moving ourselves back, pushing ourselves away from the heels of the hands. Look at the inner elbows, turn them forward. They love to sneak in. Lift the buttocks higher, lift the heels higher. Feeling everything from the tips of the fingers to the spaces between our toes. Femurs into the hip sockets as we exhale. And finalize the pose, squeezing the knees, firming the elbows, relaxing the brain. And then looking up and bending the knees, coming back down for our final Gomukasa. This one is going to be Gomukasa 3. So left knee lifting and the feet widening. Taking a seat. Making sure that our feet aren't jamming up to our outer hips here. And then coming forward, extending, but pressing the hips back. 2 lines of energy, forward and back. And the arms and hands are really important to help us get the back energy. So you press into the fingertips or you press into the palms of the hands to push the hips back as you come forward. And this really just accelerates the connection with the deeper purpose of this pose. So looking for that, breathing, observing. And then coming back out, rocking back up in order to change sides, rightly behind the left, sitting down between the feet and moving those feet away from the outer thighs. Of course, remember to take any support that makes it better for you, more accessible. And as we come forward, connecting to the forward line and the back line. So reaching forward and pushing back. Reaching forward and pushing back. Over and over again with the breath. Coming out, rocking back up, and uncrossing. Coming straight from here to hanging Uttanasana with the feet spread the width of the mat. With your hands, spread all the toes apart. We all have toes a little bit askew, some tightening up to the others. Let's see if we can give them a unique space here in this first Uttanasana, and how that might affect the way that we are feeling our feet and standing from them. Holding onto the elbows, tucking the head right in. So a natural Chalandhara Bandha here, the chin close to the throat. Relax the cheeks, relax the corners of the mouth, relax the muscles around the eyes. Let all of the senses flow into the pose with the breath. The legs becoming firmer as they awaken. Able to grip more, able to condense more. And then the hands releasing. The knees bending, make the heels firm. Bring the hands to the hips, the elbows back. The center of the chest broadening as we lift up. And step the feet together. With an exhale, stretch the arms down, fingertips into the earth, roots from the feet growing, mirror the sternum plate lifting. Tadasana. Okay, and releasing. Right, now we are going to speed things up a little bit. So get ready for Utkatasana 1s, 2s, Chaturangas, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, etc. So if you're wearing something that's going to make you too hot, take it off and let's get ready to charge at the front of that mat. From Tadasana, bring the hands onto the hips, elbows back. Bending the knees to find Utkatasana. Really pressing the inner knees against each other to generate more and more density, strengthen the legs, the femurs moving into the hips, elbows back, lift the chest. And now extend the arms, find full Utkatasana. And now descending to Utkatasana 2. And back to Utkatasana 1. And back to Utkatasana 2. And 1. And 2. And 1. And Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Grip the legs, broaden the shoulders. Preparing to come back up to Urdhva Hastasana. Open the eyes wide, look up, reach up. And exhaling down, Uttanasana. Back of the neck long. More and more firmness in the legs, all the way up to the top part of the legs, coming into the hips. Preparing for Urdhva Hastasana. Press down to lift up. And exhaling, Uttanasana. Then lifting the head, bending the knees, jumping from Uttanasana to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Heels down, sit bones lifting, elbows firm, knees firm. Then bringing our weight forward, preparing for Chaturanga. Chaturanga 2. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Back to Chaturanga. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Firm the arms, firm the legs, relax the face. Bringing the weight forward again. Chaturanga. Chaturanga 2. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Lift the sternum blade higher. Chaturanga. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Soothe the breath down again. Inhabit the fullness of the pose. Spread the breath. As the weight forward, third and final one. Chaturanga. Chaturanga 2. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Lift up. More. And forward. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. With a long exhalation, re-diffuse, release tiredness, gain presence. And then looking up, walking forward. Feet the width of the mat. Hanging Uttanasana. Look down at the feet. Make sure the toes are still spread. The arches of the feet are lifting. The heels are firm. And as you press down, find that lift in the legs, that grip in the legs. The buttocks rising from that. The elbows pulling down. And then releasing the fingertips. So it's just, let me put this little AirPod back in. Releasing the fingertips to the ground. Sit back. Ignite the heels again. Femurs moving back into the hip sockets. Arms come inside the legs. Squatting down, squatting down. Femurs moving back, femurs moving back. Coming all the way down but not resting. And squeeze the knees into the ribs. Get the thighs to burn. And move into that, not away from it. That's it, and 3, and 2, a special kind of heat. Good, and 1. Coming back out, all the way up, rolling out. The legs straightening, the feet pressing down. That inner lift, the mirror, the sternum plate rising up, the shoulders pressing down, the arms pressing down. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. And release. Okay, feels good, right? So now we're going to get a chair, a wall, and a few blankets, and a block between the legs, and come back. So I've moved my mat into the wall in preparation, and we're going to start off with a Baddha on the chair, right side of the railing to the right side, and twisting to the right first, and a block between the knees, helping us to really grip and keep the feet coming into the hip sockets and grip the outer pelvic rim in. Turning and twisting to the right. Keep remembering to press down in order to activate that inner lift, the flowering of the sternum plate, and then the head turning to the right. Releasing, swiveling around, place it in the block between the knees again, lining the knees up over the heels, Feeling the thighs coming into the hip sockets and the outer pelvic ring squeezing and containing firmness in the lumbar and turning and twisting to the left, Paramajasa. Bring the idea of elongation into your twist. More important than the twisting is the elongation, so press down to lift up that inner lengthening. Even space between each of the vertebrae and the flowering of the sternum plate, and then the head turning too. And releasing. One more time, this time on the diagonal. So the corner of the chair being diagonal, the drop between the knees, alignment, and twisting to the right. Keep pressing down, stabilizing, gripping the outer pelvic area in to contain that. And finding that inner lift, that inner ascension. And then releasing. And to diagonal on the left. Block in position for stability and for ignition of the outer pelvic area, gripping in to bring firmness, stability, and then twisting to the left. Staying in touch with our feet helps us to keep pressing down, the front thighs pressing down, the bottom bones pressing down, and from that pressing downless, inner lift, the pelvic floor engaged, lifting up, the ribs lifting, the mirror of the sternum plate lifting. And then releasing. And moving this block, taking another blanket, rolling this blanket, putting it onto Yoga Nidasana. We want to really have the organs release over this roll, become malleable and move back to the lower back so that this area gets broad in a whole new way. So don't go too small on the roll. Don't be shy of feeling that. Lining the feet up, pulling this blanket back, freeing the ribcage over, and exhaling forward. Now notice how the gut may resist the blanket, it may press down into it. Instead, lift the navel up, feel the new support of the lower back, feel how naturally now you just come forward into the Yoga Nidasana. Activate the feet, so that the thighs are still coming into the hip sockets. And the outer hips are squeezing in to contain that, to hold that. And then the arms stretching back, increasing. Relax the forehead, relax the temples, relax the cheeks. Coming back out. And let's move this blanket to the side. Move our chairs just to the front of the mat and come for Adho Mukha Svanasana with our hands against the wall. So taking a closer look at the arms, the shoulders, the elbows, the shoulder blades, all of those tricky areas. Sorry, I'm going to tie myself up there. There we go. So thumb and index finger to the wall, which naturally turns the inner elbows forward, as you know. Knees lined up with the hands, turn the toes under. And pushing ourselves back, don't drop the head down yet. Look at the hands, look at the arms. Visually see them in that correct action before lowering the head and straightening the legs. And now we have to feel from inside if they're still in the correct action. As you press into the wall, feel the wall press back at you, adding another element to this variation. And then releasing, bending the knees back down. And just roll the shoulders back, let that settle, relax the face. And then turning around, Adho Mukha Svanasana, this time with the backs of our heels pressing to the wall. So extra attention coming to the legs, to the heels, the wall pushing back into the heels, see what that brings to our understanding of Adho Mukha Svanasana. The hands naturally finding a really good position because they've just been put in place. So staying with that. Don't look down yet. Find the backs of the heels to the wall. Even out the pressure. Lift the buttocks higher. Stretch the arms, stretch the legs, and lowering the head down. You can see your feet. If the toes are white, there's too much pressure in the toes. Find the ball of the foot, broaden the ball of the foot, and see how the toes will follow suit. They'll also broaden. Reactivate the heels. Push the shins back to help the heels activate. Push the front thighs back to help the heels activate. And as the heels press into the wall, feel the wall pressing back into the heels. And then exhale, releasing, and bringing the knees down to the ground. Okay, it's time for arm balancing down, so we're all set up with our wall. If you like to use a strap around the arms, go ahead and place a strap just above the elbows. It can just give a little more strength and lift to your experience. Otherwise, turning around, really spreading the palms and fingers. Don't be thinking, oh, I've got to get up, so ignoring the hands. Remember, the more broadness you have here, the better connection, and therefore the better pressing downness, and therefore the better lifting upness. When we're ready, go ahead and prepare. Walk the feet in, bring the weight to the hands, broaden the shoulders. Lift up out of that, don't crunch into it. Lift up out of it. Lift one leg, and finding the wall. Immediately line the inner feet up, and feel the heels on the wall. By pressing the heels to the wall, activate the back leg. So the back leg is tight, firm. Now press the hands down and lift up more, and climb the right heel up and then the left heel up. Reactivate the back legs. 3, and 2, and 1. Lowering back down, And releasing. Right, Jackson, just for a breath, just to neutralize the shoulders, the neck, the face, the brain. Deep inhalation. Deep exhalation. Coming in for our second one. So re-spreading as if each time you place the hands, it was a new placing of the hands, a new experience, a new variation. Stability, shoulders broad, relax the face, be in the body, be with breath. Go ahead and straighten the legs, walk the feet in. Again, relax the brain, relax the face. Be with the breath, lifting, exhaling, lift. Immediately line the feet up and pull the outer edges of the feet down. Press the heels to the wall and activate the back legs. Press down into the hands, the arms spread and the shoulders broad, and climb up higher. And then going back down. And releasing. Turning away from the wall. Lifting the left knee up, crossing the left knee behind the right, widening the feet. A familiar old friend now, here, Mudrasan, Gomudrasan 3. Remember, forward line and backward line, forward line and backward line. So the poses may look linear sometimes, but inside there's a very organic, non-linear action and rhythm. Hands then moving back out, rocking forward, changing the cross, right knee behind the left, feet widening. Being with breath, exhaling forward, the hands helping us to then push back. Good, and now rocking with the breath, with the movement, that internal wavy action forward and backwards, easing us deeper and deeper into understanding, into the releasing, into the core of the pose. Back out, rocking back forward and out. And it's now time for us to move into the next part of our sequence. So we're going to just move the chair to the side and move this mat away from the wall, coming into some back extensions, and taking a blanket, if needed, for the pubic bone as we lie down on our abdomens. So we're lying down, and if we're using a blanket, we want to place the blanket so that the edge of this is not high up here, just above the pubic bone. And then we're placing our elbows, our forearms on the mat, and pulling forward, and you can feel a stretchiness all in the skin of the abdomen area, all up the front spine, the front chest. Activating that, pressing the buttocks down. And then laying ourselves down right on that edge, keeping the length that we just gained. Okay, bring the legs together, the inner feet together, roll the thighs in. And first coming to Ekapada Ikasana. So we're coming up onto the left forearm, bending the right knee, we're reaching for that foot, turning the hands so the fingers can go over the elbow, can lift. And this gives us great traction to press the foot down. Keep simultaneously pressing into the left elbow, the left forearm, activating that length. And the buttocks pressing down. And coming out. Re-roll the thighs in. Reactivate the length of the front body by pressing into the forearms, the elbows, rolling the ribcage. And now the left hand side. Bending the left leg, reaching round and positioning our hands as best as possible to get that elbow lifting and that pressing downwards that comes. A certain firmness in the buttocks so that the buttocks can press down, not poke back up. And activating through the right arm, that continual length, not allowing smallness to come to the abdominal cavity. Pressing down, lifting, sternum moving forward. Relaxing, hardening in the face. And then releasing. Roll the thighs back in. Reactivate the length of the front body. And then placing yourselves back down. Breathing here. Relax the shoulders, relax the ears, relax the brain. Now we're going to bend the legs and turn the toes down. Preparing to reach back with our hands. Activate the front shoulders back. Stretch the arms back. Bring the feet closer. Hold on to the outer ankles. Keep the toes turning down. Roll those shoulders back. The center of the arms being the center chest. Feel it broaden. And now begin to winch ourselves back. The important thing being to keep the front thighs on the mat. And then coming back down and releasing. Deep inhale, deep exhale, resettle. Come up onto the left forearm, roll the thighs in. Ekapalamikasa. And coming out, changing sides. Shoulders down. And releasing. Pressing into the hands. Roll the thighs in, bring the feet towards each other, elbows back. Turn the toes under, push yourself forward a little bit, and then back on the dorsal feet to Urdhva Pasvanasana. Charge the legs, femurs into the hips, buttocks pressing down, organs lifting up, rising up, shoulders back, head back. And roll into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Adjusting distance as needed. Relax the ears, relax the throat. Iron those front thighs back to the thigh bone. And then bending the knees, hands down to the mat. Ushtrasana. So if you like support under the knees, if you want to turn the blanket, I'm actually going to just move it away, but you're turning the blanket lengthwise so they can have your knees and your feet on the same height. So Ushtrasana 1 first, preparation, so to speak, of Ushtrasana. Look at your knees with your eyes, and then follow the trajectory through the shins, the calves, the feet, asserting that parallelness. Press down, the buttocks pressing forward, firm. The sacrum moving down, not lifting up. So the thumbs held that action. The elbows back, the center of the chest is the source of the shoulders opening, the arms opening. So broad in that space, lifting the mirror of the sternum plate up, over and over again. The more you press down, the more inner lift there is. Look for that elongation. Don't worry about the arch right now, look for the elongation, lifting this, and then head back. And then back up, and sitting back on the feet. Padmasana, interlock, turn the palms out, connect your thumbs together for symmetry. Shoulders down, shoulder blades down, lifting up. Once again, soften the corners of the mouth, the corners of the eyes. And then coming back down and changing the interlock. Palms out, shoulders down so that the neck can be long. Press the feet to the floor, press the shins, press the front thighs down. Pressing down to rise up. And then coming back down, Vajrasana. And back up for Ushtrasana. So we'll be doing the preparation, and then we'll be bringing the hands back to the feet. If you would like to use blocks to lift that up, go ahead and place one block on the outside of each foot at the height that is best for you. Starting from our preparation, so the hands and the thumbs here, making sure that we're using these muscles. They're not just passive, they have to be firm to keep the lumbar safe, to activate the correct movement so that the middle back and the dorsal spine and the back ribs here press up, not this area. This stays firm, the abdomen lifting into it and up. Head back. All right, preparing to extend our arms to the feet, to the heels. Press the buttocks forward again. Head back, shoulders back. Sternum plate lifting to the sky. And then back up. And sitting back down. Legs together. Bring the arms in front, interlock the fingers, turn the palms out. Press down to lift up. Be smooth, be steady. coming back down, changing the interlock. Within the precision of the pose, feel the energy, the inner rivers, the breath opening, the lightness that comes from the density. And coming back down, third and final Ushtrasana. Inhabiting that external form, igniting it with breath, directionalizing, the breath helping us. Head back. Firmness in the back body. Shoulder blades pressing up. Arms back. Relax the corners of the lip, the jaw. Be from body strength. And then coming back up. Releasing Vajrasana. One hand on the back, one hand on the front. The hands matching each other. Lift the front hand up so the pubic bone isn't collapsing or dipping back. It's lifting up. The back hand lifting up. Firmness there. Let that firmness come up through the lumbar. And no arching. And just place the backs of the hands on the thighs. Press the shoulders down, lift the chest up, chin down. The inner energy lifting. And now, Supta Virasana. So right where we are. Widening, preparing. Pull the calves back and out. Pull those feet in, beyond the tops of the feet. And then it really helps to just put the hands on the skin of the kneecaps and pull the skin of the kneecaps up. Now as we come down, keep a firm pressure on the tops of the toes, the tops of the feet. Lift the hips up, move the buttocks to the front of the mat. Keep the outer hips tight to keep that firmness as we come even lower. Don't let the outer hips release. Keep them tight, holding that outer structure. The buttocks moving towards the heels. The front thighs pressing down. And then lifting the arms up across the thumbs and stretch the arms back. If you've lost track of your breath a little bit, this is an excellent opportunity to really find length, broadness, and immersion. Spread the fingers apart and see how that affects the broadening of the lungs, the broadening of the rib cage around the lungs. Hands to lungs. And then lifting the arms back up, change the cross of the thumbs, and again coming back down. Stretch those arms and press the front thighs down. Anchor the pose and then aerate the pose. And relax the corners of the mouth. Relax the effort. Relax the I am doing this. the effort, the strength, the vibration that's happening. Be with it, ride with it, watch it. Broad palms, broad lungs. And then the arms lifting back up, preparing to come out. Press down into the feet again, the tops of the toes. Connect with the foundations. And from that, coming back up, the knees widening a little bit. The femurs have to now move back into the hip sockets. So we may want to just release the skin of the knees a little bit and then coming forward. And as the front femurs slide back in, remember our Yoga Mudrasana on the chair with the rolled up blanket and enable the organs moving back too. So that forward action, forward and back, forward and back. And back up. And releasing, releasing. And just bend and extend each leg. Just 2 or 3 times. And out. Well, it is finally time for our inversions. So we're going to gather the blankets that we're going to need for that, starting with Shirshasana. If you need a wall, you're going to come into the wall and let's invert. Let's get all that blood and oxygenation into our brains for the final cerebral release. So our Shirshasana sequence is going to be very simple actually, just Shirshasana 1, and then we'll be coming into Vajrasana. So that means we'll be bending our knees, the heels to the buttocks. So kind of like a Vidasana, Ushtrasana type action in our Shirshasana, which means that if you're using a wall, you don't want to be right up against the wall because you want to have enough room to bend your legs so that the fronts of the feet and the shins will be trapped by the wall. It's actually a really nice way to do it because you get extra opening. Okay, let's come in. Just prepare the arms, that powerlessness, placing the elbow tips, the precision of entering, harnessing the mind, preparing crown of the head, activating the arms, and then lifting and finding Shirshasana. Immediately line the inner feet up. Pull the toes down, push the heels up. Activate the backs of the legs. Keep lifting the shoulders. As you press the forearms down and lift the shoulders up, let the ears soften, let the cheeks soften, let the corners of the lips soften. So the brain is quiet, the effort is not coming from the brain or from the I-ness, the me-ness. Going deeper into body intelligence, body with breath. Preparing now to bend the legs to Virasana, Vajrasana. Point the toes down to the ground. Keep trying to find the middle buttock and to press the middle buttock forward as the front thighs move back. Once again, lift the shoulders, don't allow the neck to become cramped and short. And keep that firmness in the outer hips that keeps the lumbar stable. Look for malleability in the middle back, in the dorsal spine, in the shoulder blades. And then back up to Shirshasana. Ignite the heels against an imaginary wall. Lift up. Second, Virasana Vajrasana. Bending the knees. Middle buttocks pressing forward. Toes pointing down. Outer hips squeezing in. And back up, Shirshasana. Always down, stay strong, stay steady. We've just got one more Vajrasana Virasana. Relaxing in the corners of the lips. And tap new reservoirs in the body, in the circuitry of the body intelligence. Out of the brain, ready, and bending the knees. Middle buttocks pressing forward. Forearms pressing down, shoulders lifting up. Don't let the shoulder blades fall, the trapezius muscles fall, lift them up. And then back up, Shirshasana. Steady, neutralize. And then back down. Nice and gentle. And Yoga Mudras. Still in Yoga Mudras, just bending the arms and holding onto the elbows, the upper arms. Broaden the shoulders. Feel the back broaden, feel the chest broaden. And then re-stretch the arms in order to change the cross of the arms. And try to pull your elbows forward. And to draw the arm bones into the shoulder sockets as you broaden them. Belly button going towards the lower back. Back out. Vajrasana. And now, time for Savangasana. So, blankets, I'm going to use 3. Height for the shoulders, strap for the arms. If you want ordinary blankets, of course, take more height. And lean back. Preparing the loop so that it reflects the distance from your inner armpit to your inner armpit. And then, placing the arms. Make sure that the buckle isn't touching the skin. It's not a pleasant sensation once we're up. And just rolling around so you feel that the strap is really in the right place. The front shoulders can go back. The center of the chest opening. The shoulders pressing down. The mirror of the sternum plate lifting up and the chin lowering. So here we have the trunk of Savangasana, which is also Jalandhara Bandha. Okay, so let's come in. Lying down. This is going to annoy me, so actually, let's move that, there we go. Shoulders right on the edge. Now, bring the feet in, turn the toes in, the heels out slightly. This is going to help stop our knees from splaying in this first Chaturshadasana. So we're pressing down into the feet, lifting the hips up, rolling the shoulders back, pressing the arms down, lifting the middle buttock up, pressing the middle buttock up, press the feet down more, find the outer hips and squeeze them in to contain any overcurving in the lumbar. And now look for the arch in the middle back, the upper back, the shoulder blades pressing up, the arms pressing down. As the shoulders press down into the ground, the center of the chest broadens. Chin to the sternum, don't throw the chin back and resist with the head. Lift up more and more and more, middle body pressing up. And then slowly, with control, coming down. Feel how we're so very gloriously set up now. So just from here, rolling the legs over. Re-roll the shoulders back and place the hands in position for Savangasana. When you're ready, go ahead and lift it up. And immediately align the feet and ignite the heels against an imaginary back wall so the backs of the legs become firm. Try to use all of the hands to aid you. Now bending the knees, Vajrasana, Virasana. And press the middle buttocks forward, Point the toes down. And then back up to Savandasa. And both legs coming down simultaneously. Hadasana. Extend the arms behind you, interlock the fingers. Re-roll the shoulders back, press the arms down, activate the back body. Simultaneously press into the tops of those toes and activate the legs. Squeeze the outer hips, have that firmness, that containment. Now change the interlock of the fingers behind the back. Re-stretch the arms away from you like the shoulder openers. Feel the broadness of the center of the chest. Then place the hands on the back again. Bend the knees towards the forehead. Widen the knees apart. Use the hands to help pushing the hips over. The chin coming towards the sternum. Gardhanadasa. Relax the shoulders back, so let them crunch up towards the ears. And now stretch the arms straight behind you, interlock the fingers, resting more profoundly. The tops of the feet have importance here. As you press them down, they ignite the connection of the femur bone into the hip sockets. Now change the interlock of the fingers. And again, stretch the arms away. Sternum plate lifting, chin to the throat, Jananadabandha. And then bring the knees back to the forehead. Bring the hands to the back. Straighten the legs again. Lifting back up to Savandasa. Ekapada. Keep the left leg fixed where it is, lowering the right leg down. The backs of the legs firm. The heels pressing on imaginary walls. And back up. Changing sides. Backs of the legs firm, heels firm. Back ribs in. And Savandasa. And then bending the knees towards the face, and not of Vajrasana. And then feet to the floor. Let's take the strap off here so that our arms are free. And then slowly unrolling. Breath, movement, and moving back. Shoulders rolling back. Knees resting against each other, abdomen resting. Relax the cheeks, relax the temples, relax the forehead and the brain. And then rolling over and coming back out. And we are ready for Shavasana, but a special kind of Shavasana. So we're going to need 2 bolsters or 1 bolster and blankets rolled up as a bolster. And we're going to need 2 blocks and 1 blanket. So gathering all that stuff and let's come back for this final delicious experience. So 2 bolsters or blankets rolled up as bolsters, 2 blocks like that, so not blade shape, flat, right here. 1 blanket folded up into 4, so it's super chunky and thick, and this is going under the sacrum. So let's go ahead and place ourselves on that and check our distance. When we lie back, we want to feel the shoulder blades supported on the blocks and the neck and head on the bolster. So adjusting. And then this bolster is going to be for underneath the knees. So I like to roll mine so it's blade shape rather than flat, giving a slightly higher support. Just centralizing it a bit. Then, with your hands, lift the hips and move the buttocks towards the bolster. So the sacrum is moving towards the bolster, and it'll stay there now because the blanket is supporting it in that flow. We can relax the outer hips, which we've been doing a lot of work today, just in keeping stability here. And the abdomen, as it relaxes, will recede downwards, creating a kind of lake shape, a bowl of softness, where the organic body is going to the lower back. And then check that the sides of the neck are even, the front throat soft, front shoulders rolling back, and the source of that being the center of the chest, so more and more broadness as the front shoulders roll back. The arms extending diagonally away. Turning the arms so that the little pinky is moving towards the thumbs. That spiraling energy from the shoulders all the way down the biceps, triceps, elbows, forearms, wrists into the hand. Full openness. Settle. Relax the face. The eyelids closing. Relax the outer ears. Relax the inner ears. Relax the jaw. Relax the root of the tongue. Let the throat relax even more, and the shoulders pacify even more, resting. That river of restingness flowing down through the arms, the hands, the fingers. With an exhale, relax the hips, the buttocks, the abdomen. Relax the pubic bone. The roots of the thighs, softening. From that, the legs resting, the knees resting, the calves, the ankles, the feet. Everything letting go. And the hands just gently lifting and resting on the abdomen. Maybe rubbing the skin, helping our attention to slowly and smoothly rise back out from the depths. Moving the toes, moving the feet a little bit, feeling our legs. And then rolling over onto the side, knowing that we're coming off some height there, so going slowly, so it's not a tumble, staying nice and gentle. And then pushing ourselves back up. So we can just sit back on the blanket, the blocks, or the bolster. Palms folded together. Giving thanks for our practice, thanks for this immersion. Giving thanks to the divine. Warm peace, peace, peace. Hands going down. The chin lifting, the eyes opening. And welcome back from this long and deep journey. It feels strange to connect back to outer space, so transformed. Having rested in awareness for such a long amount of time in our practice, eliminating or removing, eradicating slowly each practice the grooves of mental chatter, mental hooks, and replacing that with the presence of resting as awareness, so longer holds, and letting that extend into our lives, so that each small moment becomes blissful. Namaste.